Summary: fleeting euphoric stimulation preceding an uncomfortable crash. Background: being interested mostly in research chemicals, I've dabbled with and used habitually a handful of different stimulant class substances in the past 3 years. Primarily isopropylvinidate, IPPH, and 4F per hour, with limited experience using 4FMA, 2FMA, and 4FA. No previous cathinone experience. This report will mostly be relative to those substances. My stimulant tolerance could be considered low to medium, a typical effective IPPH dose for me being 20 to 30 mg, a 4F per hour dose 20 mg, and 2FMA 25 mg. Haven't experienced pharma stimulants like Adderall or Ritalin. I take an SSRI as well, escitalopram 10 mg daily. Mirtazapine 15 mg too, semi-regularly. I primarily seek stimulants for functional and therapeutic use, and less often for recreation. I'm not diagnosed with AD but have trouble staying focused on work and maintaining discipline and motivation. IPPH and 4F per hour have helped me significantly in that realm, while providing a hint of a feeling of purpose, like I have a real objective with the power to accomplish it. I acquired a-PCYP out of curiosity and wanting something with a wider range of effects rather than a purely functional stim. Previously I tried vaping it in an oil burner without success, no effects noticed. I have no experience vaping other substances or using an oil burner, so that can likely be blamed on improper technique. Since that was a fruitless attempt, I'll consider the following my first and only experience, with a redose/boost shortly after the first dose felt complete. Please note that I did not take a precautionary test dose before a full dose, which I should have done. Context and preparation. Experienced at home alone during a workday, remote job, doing creatively focused tasks. Notes written during the experience, beginning at about 11 a.m., no other substances consumed. Substances in crystalline form with a slightly cloudy, off-white or yellow color. A few larger crystals 1 to 2 mm in diameter are in the bag, but it's mostly small crumbles. No analysis on its identity was performed, but having been obtained from a reputable and long-standing vendor, I'm fairly confident it is genuinely a-PCYP. Report: T+0:00, measured out 30 mg on a mg scale, accuracy +/5 mg, put in gel capsule and consumed orally on an empty stomach. T+0:45, subtle stimulation, slight mood boost. T+1:15, onset is fully noticeable by now. Initially an increase in mood, and stimulation approaching that of 2FMA. No physical effects noticed. T+2:00, peak effects felt. Working on some creative tasks and feeling good. A definite sense of disinhibition, ego inflation, heightened music appreciation, increased sociability, and confidence. Generally a moderate cognitive euphoria. Those effects feeling on par with or slightly stronger than a typical phenibut dose. Around that, a-PCYP absolutely preferable to phenibut at this point, the latter almost always comes with a headache and stomach doing flips. There is a subtle physical euphoria as well. 4F per hour and IPPH come with a slight physical discomfort for me. Sort of restless, slightly jittery vibe which is less present with a-PCYP. Physical effects mostly positive but certainly not intense. I'm not feeling entirely focused on or consumed by my work like I am with my usual stims. I'm carelessly getting distracted by more interesting activities. Pleasure-seeking impulses abound. So far it feels more like an indulgence-driven stimulation than a focus-driven one, maybe a 70-30 split. T+3:00, peak effects winding down, mood boost and other effects not as significant. Still energized and awake but not to the extent I would be at this point on 4F per hour or 2FMA. Moderate desire to redose. Haven't eaten all day, but an appetite is not present. T+3:30, I seem to be coming down at this point. Mood is baseline, but gloomy relative to earlier. Disinhibition compelled me to text an ex, which turned out to be a mistake and might be affecting results. Stimulation level lower than an hour ago, but still active. Music, work, and most other things are losing their appeal in my attention. T+4:00, stimulation winding down more. Feeling a slight creeping anxiety, discontent, and tiredness. Mood effects almost entirely gone, but there is still a lingering physical euphoria. Come down feels rapid. T+4:40, effects have worn off almost entirely. I would consider myself at baseline, however I'm left feeling anxious and melancholic. I've ceased working, being completely unmotivated to do anything productive and instead aimlessly internet surfing. Still no appetite. An urge to redose is present and continuously returns to my thoughts, but it's not overpowering. T+5:00, I take another dose, 35 mg orally. T+5:45, effects are progressing faster this time, and are feeling more powerful, although I don't have much relief from the first come down, only reciprocating euphoria and melancholy, and my mind can't decide which to land on. T+6:30, peaking on the second dose is not going as smoothly as the first. I try to get back on task, but I end up getting lost in various pockets of the internet, feeling pedantic about appropriate usages of semicolons, considering every possible way to format this experience report, but ultimately not finding any satisfaction or real enjoyment in any of these activities. The euphoria is fickle, anxiety persists, and I'm not enjoying the experience so much. I feel dirty and tweakish, but not guilty or regretful, more just disappointed and weak. Physically, some things are coming through that I didn't experience on my first dose. I feel generally uncomfortable, restless, and I notice I have a semi-voluntary tick of swaying backwards and forwards rapidly, something I haven't experienced with other stims. T+7:30, coming down is no worse than the first time, maybe not as bad even since I know what to expect and don't miss the peak effects as much. T+8:00, consumed by melancholy and ennui. I come terms with that fact I've just wasted the day. Conclusion. My initial impressions during the peak of the first dose and an hour or two after were that it was an overall pleasant experience but not incredible. However, the second dose not long after and its subsequent come down has me leaning more towards an overall unfavorable view of the experience. Disappointing length of duration, with a significant but not overpowering desire to redose. Come down is definitely apparent, rapid and somewhat unpleasant, but not terrible. Undoubtedly more euphoric than IPPH, 4 f/ml/h or 2 fma, but that only lasts so long. Maybe comparable to 4 fma, but a-PCYP has more of a disinhibiting, ego-inflating euphoria closer to phenibut than 4 fma's smooth entactogenic effects. It does not feel as clean as 4 fma and comes with some undesirable aspects. Not ideal for functional purposes. While it might be fun very briefly, 1 to 2 hours, the come down and unfulfilling redose prevent me from really liking it, and I don't see any particularly unique or superior qualities in a-PCYP compared to other stims and research chemicals in general that I've tried. It feels more potently stimulating than previously mentioned shums, but there does not seem to be any enhancement that comes with it. Creatively flat, accelerated thoughts that are unorganized and lead nowhere. Poor focus and short attention span. Rapid mood change. Just an empty euphoria that comes and goes too soon to truly indulge in. Swallowed up, spit out. Reported doses +/5 mg.